It is time, so we would now like to start Business Strategies web conference by Hitachi Global Life Solutions. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend this conference on such a short notice. The materials used today are posted on Hitachi Limited IR site and news release site, so please check. Let me introduce the presenter. Jun Taniguchi, President of Hitachi Global Life Solutions. Taniguchi will explain the business strategy of Hitachi Global Life Solutions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Despite the late hour and despite your busy schedule, thank you very much for your attendance at this call or meeting. Once again, my name is Jun Taniguchi, President of Hitachi Global Life Solutions. We have already issued a press release today with respect to our alliance with Arçelik of Turkey. Hitachi's appliances and air conditioning business was covered in the press release, and I would like to discuss that during this session. Now, based on the presentation material, I would like to discuss this and then move on to Q&A. I believe you can see the screen. So this is a strategy presentation meeting, measures toward growth of life solution business. That is the title. Moving on to the next slide. This is the agenda for the presentation. First, I would like to discuss the progress in the structural reform efforts made in home appliances and air conditioning business, transformation toward growth with respect to changes in the business environment and growth strategy. There are two: open collaboration and global alliance, which I will discuss. And lastly, I will provide a summary. Moving on to the next slide. To the next slide, please. First, regarding home appliances and air conditioning business, I would like to discuss the progress in structural reform. As some of you may know, in 2015, we formed an alliance with Johnson Controls to reinforce the delivery capabilities of the air conditioning business. So improving the bottom line through alliance with an overseas company, we were able to achieve such a milestone. And in April 2019, we merged Hitachi CM and Hitachi AP. With that merger, we have increased efficiencies in the home appliances business. And today, with Arçelik in Turkey, we're forming an alliance to further strengthen the delivery capabilities of global home appliances business. Regarding the performance, FY 2018 and onward is shown. And in the first half of FY 2020, the adjusted operating income ratio is 7.8%. EBIT ratio is 8.4%. You can see that we are making steady progress in improving the bottom line. Lower left, there is a breakdown of the revenues and EBIT by business. This shows the rough summary and the breakdown. The profitability target of FY 2021 reflecting this alliance is for adjusted operating income ratio of over 8% and EBIT ratio of over 10%. And I would like to discuss transformation in the following pages. Next page, please. First, I would like to touch upon the changes in the business environment and growth strategy. 65 years ago, we put out this advertisement for home appliances products. As is shown in top left, we are to contribute to improving family life. This remains the same. We would like to contribute to improving the quality of life of consumers. That is the overall mission that we have for society. That remains unchanged. And based on this spirit, depending on the changes in the business environment, we have adjusted and changed our business strategy. So let me discuss that in detail. in the following pages. First, regarding the business space that we have built. As you know, as is shown on the top left, we have a long history in this business. 88 years in home appliances and 68 years in air conditioning business. And according to the changing times, we have shaped and formed our business over the years. The core technology for appliances, core technology for air conditioning products. We have developed connected technology in our products, and we are adding new value to our products as a result. As you can see from the domestic examples, in the domestic market, we boast a very high market share in ASEAN countries as well. We have air conditioning business in over 100 markets around the world. And in terms of reaction from our customers, now, if we assess what they are saying, reliability, trust, and durability, these are the key words they use as they assess our products and services. And we also have a footprint in after-sales service. Customer satisfaction is maintained at a high level. And so leveraging this business space, how are we going to grow our business? That is the challenge before us. Next page. Changes in the social environment and business opportunities. Let me discuss this for a few minutes. As you know, we're under COVID-19. People's lifestyles are changing quite drastically. And we would like to capture this as business opportunities for our transformation. There are 4 aspects of social change we are paying attention to. One is e-commerce expansion, and the second is increased activities within the home. So increased demand for home meals and aging society. With aging society, the number of members in the household is decreasing among the elderly population. And anxieties for COVID pandemic. And on the reverse side, advances made in medical treatments, biotechnology, and regenerative medicine are making advances. So based on this, we have always been close to the consumer. And we derived future lifestyle concepts as follows: food, housing, and health. For these 3 areas, based on specific examples, I would like to discuss the detail later. Next page. Transformation toward growth. On this, our major role is to improve the quality of life of the consumers. That remains unchanged. And we would like to expand and achieve that through open collaboration and reinforcing global alliance. On the left-hand side, as shown, are the main priority measures for open collaboration centering around Lumada. For food, we can offer connected home appliances, leveraging them. We can provide support to the consumer as they manage their stocks of foods. And for housing, we can offer family robots to support housework, energetic life, and mind. And regarding health, regenerative medicine, which is growing, to support that, we can provide clean environment solution. So leveraging Lumada through collaboration and co-creation, we would like to grow this. And we're also going to strengthen our delivery capabilities. For that, we're establishing a joint venture with Archelic. And through that, we will expand the sales of Hitachi branded products and expand our solution business overseas. This joint venture will be the foothold for that. And in the next few pages, I would like to show you some examples to discuss these specifics. Number 1, in the area of food, how are we going to promote co-creation or collaboration? These are the examples. One is managing stock through our technology. With a partner company, Nichirei Foods, we're working on this. At the core of this business, we would like to help consumers maintain the freshness of the food and accommodate their needs close to their lifestyle. And that is called a selectable zone refrigerator with one door. And that is something that we're going to launch. And there's this connected application which offers order proposal function. As you can see in the description, you will be able to understand and detect the amount of food left in the refrigerator. Based on the amount left, this refrigerator will make proposals as to what to purchase. And by so doing, you will be able to maintain a stock of staple food. And for the food supplier, they can secure stable sales, which is a benefit for them. And for us, with online order placement, we will be able to add a new service and create a recurring model for the consumer within the household. You will always be able to maintain your stable food stuff. You will be freed from invisible housework of have to pay attention to the stocks in the house.
Next is the co-creation in the housing field. Just last week, we issued a news release. So, Lavot, family robot. We started capital and business alliance with GrooveX, which developed the family robot Lavot. So you may know, as you see on the left side, it's a very cute looking robot. The third bullet point says, it is like pets. It constructs a trust relationship with people, like pets, and fill our lives with satisfaction and sense of security. This is connected home appliances. So like we saw in the refrigerator example, we have many other examples. We want users to use this with peace of mind. And so we have this very rich after-sales service network and sales. So the points of collaboration, this is the functional value and emotional value enhancement. GrooveX will utilize our after-service network, and solid foundation will be formed from that so that the business can grow. So we will support their business growth. That is the relationship between the two. The provided value for the consumers will be enjoyable home life and sound mind. Next, please. An example in the health field. As I touched on earlier, regenerative medicine is a new industry that supports the health, and it's growing rapidly. CPC, Cell Processing Center solution that is easy to introduce is shown here. It can be delivered with a very short period of time. We want to support the industry through this center. Partner companies are Cyfuse. They are a pioneer to open the door to the products such as regenerative medicine to bio by Bio 3D printer. And the other is Lordse Life Sciences. They provide automatic devices to contribute to drug discovery research and iPS cell research. So we will use that as a basis. And in Nihonbashi of Japan, we have a regenerative medicine innovation center. The points of collaboration. We gather various players in this regenerative medicine innovation center and verify the operation, combining the devices. So once these efficacy or effectiveness is verified, they will be incorporated. The elements technology will be incorporated in the CPC module of Hitachi GLS to expand its business. And with that, we can construct a safe and advanced medical environment. But the CPC module can be connected for remote monitoring and to prevent the breakdown. The preventive maintenance using AI can be offered so that we can offer safe and advanced, reliable medical environment. Next, Global Alliance. Next page, please. These are already underway. This is the alliance in the air conditioning business with Johnson Controls. Towards the latter half of this page, you can see that October 2015, we established Johnson Controls Hitachi Air Conditioning, a joint venture. And since then, this company has leveraged both companies' technology and skills. And on the right side, you can see the synergy points. We've been growing significantly. Originally, to share the vision, energy saving and eco-friendliness were our shared vision, shared values. So we cherished that to pursue the complementary effect among the regions and products, and also made use of Hitachi brand to achieve this growth. As a result, as you see at the bottom of the page, in fiscal year 2014, the EBIT before the establishment of JV was 7%, but last fiscal year, the EBIT ratio was 13%. So we contributed to the improvement of the bottom line. Next page, please. So our joint venture with alliance with Arçelik that we announced this time. They are headquartered in Istanbul. They are a home alliance manufacturer. They were established in 1955, so they have a very long history. Right side is a global home appliance company offering products and services in more than 145 countries. And this time, we are establishing a joint venture of overseas white goods business with Arçelik and Hitachi GLS owning 60% and 40% respectively. The purpose are to expand the sale of home appliances of Hitachi brand and deploy the Hitachi GLS solutions business overseas. Next page, please. This is the alliance scheme and the synergy points. Our overseas home appliance business are done by the sales companies and manufacturing companies. Those will be utilized as assets to establish this JV. On the right side, you can see the synergy points. This is similar to the air conditioning example. Vision. We have shared vision of sustainability and complementary effect among regions. Arçelik is Europe and South Asia. And our strength is ASEAN. So there's a high complementary relationship. And in products, we have premium brand and they have mass brand. So we can have a good separation. And this premium brand of Hitachi can be utilized globally. So both companies' aspiration matched. With that, Hitachi's global home appliance business will be grown, developed. So now, in establishing this joint venture, Arçelik CEO Hakan-san have given us a video message, so please take a look.
よろしくお願いします。
はじめまして、はかにです。皆さんと直接お話ししたいですが、今回はビデオで失礼します。Dear friends, I will continue speaking in English. As you can imagine, Japanese is a little difficult for me. I hope you and your families and your loved ones are healthy and safe in these difficult times. Today, we are embarking on a new journey, a journey which is extremely exciting to us. Hitachi and Arçelik, two giants in its field, are coming together in a partnership to form a joint venture and a long-lasting family. Arçelik is part of the Koç Group, a Fortune 500 industrial conglomerate. We at Arçelik have 22 factories in 8 countries with more than 35,000 employees around the world. Arçelik has a long history in the appliances business. It was 1955 that we produced our first washing machine, and since then we have spread around the globe and we have become market leaders across many markets in Europe, the Near East, and Africa. This achievement in the last 10 years has been accelerating, and I can comfortably say that Arçelik, with its innovation and production technologies, has become the disruptor of our industry. A very important point, we are also a global leader in sustainability. I am sure many of you have followed or seen that Arçelik has been carbon neutral for 2019 and 2020. This is a remarkable achievement for a global appliance manufacturer, and I'm happy to say that this is across all our production facilities. More importantly, we have achieved this without buying any carbon credit and creating the carbon credit ourselves. This is not our only achievement in sustainability. This year marks the second year in a row that we have led the Dow Jones Sustainability Index. This is a true recognition of Arçelik using sustainability in every part of its business and keeping it very, very close to its heart. At Arçelik, our global footprint has been growing steadily with new investments in many geographies. In the last decade, we had continued to expand our boundaries in the Asia Pacific. We have added Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, Thailand, subsidiaries in Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, to our group of companies. With this joint venture, we are strengthening with everything that Hitachi has, a very strong brand heritage, but most importantly, the same morals that we have at Arçelik. We believe coming together with Hitachi in our joint venture will create a powerhouse in terms of technology, brand, and geographical distribution in the Asia Pacific. Choosing Hitachi as a partner was easy for us. There are very few companies in the world that share the same morals, have teams with the same value systems. And this, I believe, is going to be the foundation stone for a very long and successful partnership. Dear friends, I am proud to say today marks the beginning of a new era. Together with our joint venture, we will not only strengthen Hitachi's position in the Asia Pacific, we will take Hitachi as a premium brand truly global. We will do this together with our Hitachi family, utilizing technology, production technology, product technology, and innovation that both sides will bring to the table. Together, we are much stronger, and I believe we can ultimately grow this company very significantly in the short future. I am honored to be part of the Hitachi family, and I am honored to have Hitachi as part of our family. Thank you for listening to me. これからよろしくお願いします。
Thank you very much. So CEO Mr. Hakan mentioned that we have very similar chemistry and common values. So our partnership is very strong. We believe it will be robust. So let me go into today's summary. As I mentioned earlier, through this global alliance, we will improve our bottom line. And through the open collaboration, we will conduct growth investment to strengthen this global alliance and improve the QOL of the people around the world. So this is our role and mission. At the bottom, you can see our profitability target. Fiscal year 2021 plan, adjusted operating income ratio of 8% or above, and EBIT ratio of over 10%. We think we have a good traction to achieve this. So this alliance and through co-creation, we want to grow even further. That concludes my explanation. Thank you very much for your attention.
それでは
At this moment, we would like to move on to questions and answers. Those of you with questions, please use the web conferencing system. There is a hand raise button. Please press that. Among those who have pressed this button, we will call your name. So once your name is called, please unmute the microphone or the audio and mention your affiliation and name before asking questions. If you no longer wish to ask the question, please release the hand raise button. And the video of the questioner will not be shown. First, we will take questions from the members of the press on the Japanese channel, and then to institutional investors, analysts, and then move on to the English channel. We will start taking questions from the members of the press on the Japanese channel. Those of you with questions, please press the hand raise button. Koide-san, I see your question. So please unmute and start your question. Question. There are two clarifications to clarify the fact. White goods was the phrase you used. Among home appliances business in Hitachi, what would be the products that would be out of the scope of this joint venture, if there are any? Answer. Thank you for the question. Overseas home appliances will be transferred to the joint venture, but the business, part of the business done by Johnson Controls will be out of the scope. Thank you. And about the sales of the new company, from Hitachi's point of view, home appliances business overseas may be limited, a small share. But for Arçelik, I think most of their business is derived from white goods business. So for joint venture business between the two, it will mainly be Arçelik's business. What would be the size of the sales that you are envisioning? Answer. In the material, if you could please flip to page 17. For this joint venture that we are forming, Hitachi Group's overseas home appliance business will be transferred to this joint venture, the manufacturing business included. So our existing business will be taken over, and the size of the business is going to be around 100 billion. But then we will utilize the sales network of Arçelik and create synergies so that we will be able to drive the sales of the joint venture business. So initially, the size of the business is going to be 100 billion, if you could understand so. Well, thank you. To continue with my question, about the challenges leading up to this partnership in Southeast Asia and China, Hitachi has been expanding its markets for home appliances in these regions, but otherwise not necessarily so. But what was the reason why you have not been able to expand in other markets? What are the challenges that you have been facing? Thank you for the question. With respect to the challenges, how we look at them, white goods, home appliances, where we have strength, local requirements in the markets are going to be quite crucial. You have to be able to fit and meet the local requirements in the markets. So local marketing and sales capabilities become quite essential. Well, we are a company who's doing business independently, but rather than going independent, we should partner with local partners if we are to utilize the assets that we both have. So we have chosen a partner where we can expect complementaries, and ultimately we have selected Arçelik as our partner. So question on that point, you said that with this alliance, delivery capabilities will be strengthened. So that is one of the challenges that you see. And so why this alliance? I wonder. Hitachi offers a premium brand. Arçelik offers mass brands. What you sell is different. Premium versus mass, and you will have to sell premium brand products into a mass market. So if you could please elaborate on your delivery capabilities. Answer. Thank you for the question. With respect to complementing each other's regional markets, as you rightly pointed out, in Southeast Asia and China, we have our main sales in this business. On the other hand, Arçelik covers Europe, Africa, and South Asia. They have footprints in these markets. So rather than creating a sales network of our own in such regions, so we should try to leverage Arçelik's sales network. On the other hand, for Arçelik, in terms of product lineup, for mass product lineup, they do have a lineup already. But by adding premium products on top of their mass products, they will be able to expand on their product lineup. Through such synergies, we will be able to increase efficiencies in our sales activities. I talked about the delivery capability, and that's what it means. In regions and markets, we have had difficulty accessing. We would like to acquire that with this partnership. Thank you very much. Thank you for the answers.
それでは
Next question, please.
ご質問お願いします。
Please unmute and ask the question. Question. So my question is the background and the positioning of this alliance. So the home appliance business bottom line will be improved through this endeavor. I'm sure you had many other options. So if it's okay to explain, what kind of other options did you have, and what advantage did you find with this alliance? What led to this decision? So that's my first question. Thank you. Answer. Thank you for your question. So, as you mentioned, what other options we had? First option was to build our sales channel delivery capability, which is only limited to Southeast Asia, expand this beyond Southeast Asia by ourselves, but that takes time and money. So in terms of investment efficiency and from time reason, we started exploring other options, partners. So we looked at various partners, but as I mentioned earlier, the complementariness in terms of region and product, especially in home appliances, brand is important. So we thought of where we can leverage our Hitachi brand the most, and that's why we chose Arçelik. So that's the process. Thank you, I understand. Question. My second question is, so for your entire group, you are now promoting the selection and concentration, for lack of a better word. But even if the business is generating profit, you may carve out if you think there are other partners who can run the business. But this time, this is a capital tie-up, an alliance. So I think this can have the development going forward. You are not just selling goods and period. So as you mentioned, the solution business that you're doing in Japan can be expanded through this alliance. What is your plan? Thank you. Answer. As you correctly mentioned, in Hitachi Group, we have Lumada, digital solution, and digital service. This is one big driver for growth. And us, Hitachi Global Life Solutions, is focused on we have direct interface with the consumers. I mentioned co-creation examples in my presentation. They are all focused on capturing the customer's life digitally and add service on top of that. So that is our strategy. Through co-creation, we are developing various solutions. So adding on these solutions is one area. And next, adding new service on home appliances means we need sales and after service, the delivery network. This is a must. So through this joint venture, our Lumada solution can be expanded globally. The expansion can be accelerated. So that is the big strategy behind this. Thank you. Understood.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you. There's another questioner. Please unmute and start your questions. Question, can you hear me? Yes, we can. There are two main questions I would like to ask. Quantitatively, the targets of the new venture company, what are the numerical targets to the extent that you can discuss, if you could share them with us? The sales size of 100 billion you mentioned, by creating this joint venture, how much growth are you expecting in the sales in the JV with Johnson Controls? You have shown profitability in terms of EBIT. So if you can share a similar indicators for now and for the future, that would be helpful. In order to drive profitability, the existing production structure and sales structure, could they be restructured? What kind of structures or systems are you going to have for the new business? Well, thank you for your question. Answer. Regarding the growth of the joint venture, with respect to specific numbers, together with Archelic, we are now in the process of hammering them out. So once we come up with the plan, we would like to disclose that. It is under discussion as we speak. On the other hand, with respect to the bottom line or profitability, as we have shown in our slides, in the first half of fiscal year 2020, the actual in terms of EBIT is 8.4%. That is the actual performance. Next year in FY21, we would like to achieve 10%, and we are already feeling traction. And so we would like to meet this EBIT level and exceed that. That is the quantitative goal. With respect to production and sales, are we going to restructure our existing structure, you asked? There are two main things. One is about production. With respect to production, as you may have assumed, Archelic and Hitachi, in this particular joint venture, we're going to offer both premium and mass products. And in terms of the rough concept, we can share the market, but in the detail, there are still some overlaps between the two. So together with Archelic, product lineup, and the scope of coverage, we are trying to sort them out between the two companies. By so doing, we can decide which side to produce what part of the market. By so doing, we can increase production efficiencies. So we will leverage assets, but we will sort out the assets to increase efficiencies to decide on the division of roles. With respect to sales, Europe and South Asia, they have strengthened, and we have strength in other markets. So there are separate markets covered. But in some countries and markets, sales and after-sales service networks overlap between the two, frankly speaking. So we will sort them out so that we can have a focus on either, so that we can drive efficiencies in the sales activities and after-sales services within a relatively short period of time. I think we can sort them out. Question. Thank you for the answer. Just to clarify, EBIT of 10% or greater, you said. Does this include the domestic business here in Japan? Answer, yes. Question. So you cannot show the number only for the overseas market, correct? Answer, correct. We would like to refrain from disclosing the overseas only number. Question. This joint venture is 60-40. 60% Archelic, 40% Hitachi. What was the concept behind that? You are a minority holder or owner, so the majority is going to be held by Archelic. So running this joint venture business as a minority shareholder, why did you decide to do so? What is your thinking or observation on that in terms of the capital? Because they hold 60%, I think they're going to have control over the business. Would that be correct? Answer, we are a 40% shareholder. And in terms of the role that we're going to play, centering around premium brands, we're going to offer brands as well as technology. And when I say brand, that includes brand quality. So we would like to maintain that and enhance that in the business. On the other hand, when it comes to deliveries and after-sales services for that basic part of the business, in terms of scale, I think we should leave it to Archelic because it's more efficient. And so that's the kind of division of roles we're going to have with respect to technologies and brands. We're going to offer. We're of course going to receive licensing fees for that. That is the scheme in place. And by so doing, we can drive our bottom line and we can make investments into the solutions business that I talked about. That is the kind of scheme that we have. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
申し訳ありませんが、
I'm very sorry, but we have many hands raised, but we would like to first, for now, move on to the next part. Next, Japanese channel institutional investors and analysts questions, please. If you have questions, please push the raise hand button.
安井様、音声ミュートを解除。
Please unmute and ask your question. Question. Can you hear me? Yes. I have 3 questions. First, the market, Japan and overseas, what is the competitive landscape? In Japan, Toshiba and Sharp have new capital and they are resuscitating their brand. So we think the competition is still severe. On the overseas side, GE and Haier and Toshiba and all the realignments are taking place. So the competition is rather relaxing. So the size is important overseas. So what is your view on the competitive landscape in home appliance market? And second point, Lumada is the core of Hitachi. So this alliance and Lumada, I think, are the home appliance and Lumada may be distant from my view. So how would you like to combine these two? Third point, under COVID-19, why did you announce this global alliance at this timing? So if you have any particular reasons, please. Thank you. Answer. Thank you for the questions. So first question, the market condition. Japan and overseas, roughly speaking, let me start with the overseas side. As you correctly mentioned, on the global side, the alliance are progressing. And in terms of the number of players, we're seeing somewhat of a consolidation. However, when it comes to home appliances, local requirements, the fit to the local needs is crucial. And the brand, the power that brand has is very strong. So the winners and the followers are different and changing in each region. So the competition is rather relaxing overseas, but the manufacturers need to be local fit and the brand needs to be strong in that particular region. So in Southeast Asia, we have a certain level of position, but in other regions, Archeric brands and sales and service network will be utilized to expand Hitachi brand in Japan. So there are players that are remaining with their own capital and the ones that have accepted foreign capital. I think there is a bifurcation, polarization. So in terms of zoning, I think we're starting to see some separation. We continue in the home appliance segment. We are number 1 or number 2, depending on which product we're talking about. The key is local fit, like lightweight and compact, or perfect fit to the needs. So the key is the development investment, development cost. We have a strong brand and the customer satisfaction that is resulting in our good position, and the profitability is improving. So that's my first answer to your question. And next, the combination between the white goods and Lumada. Generally speaking, you may think it's distant, but our white goods home appliances connection rate is rising. So we talked about the food, the stocking of food in the refrigerator as an example. Adding new added value in service is something that we will have in the future. On the other hand, we not only offer new values to our customers, when customers are in trouble, we want to support them. And we are now capable of offering after service. For example, remote monitoring or the predictive maintenance or predictive diagnosis, software defined, software over the air, rewrite software over the air. So new functions are updated, or if there are points to be improved, we can update them. So in capturing consumers' insights, Lumada and white goods home appliances have very high affinity, I think. So we are moving ahead with this development. And the last question, why now? We always explore the growth opportunity. So we decided that this is a strategy that can allow us to grow. So we wanted to move as soon as possible, implement the strategy as soon as possible. So because it's COVID-19, market change from COVID-19 may be a separate story, but this white home appliance supports the consumer's life, QOL. So in the past 6 months, in all markets, we see stable white home appliance market in most markets. So we wanted to implement good strategy early on. So once we came to an agreement with the counterpart, we gave it a go. So that's why we decided to do this at this timing.
Thank you. Another questioner? Please unmute and start your questions. Question, can you hear me? Yes, we can. Thank you. There are 3 questions I would like to ask. Question number 1 is to clarify the numbers. The part of the business that's going to be carved out for the joint venture, the sales size is around 100 billion. What is the level of profitability? Will it be deconsolidated from your business? And second, affinity with Lumada you talked about. If overseas business is carved out and deconsolidated, then you will be left with a domestic home appliance business. There's a strong affinity with Lumada, and in the medium-term management plan, you are saying that you would like to contribute to improving consumers' QOL, which means that you're going to continue to focus on this. But in terms of profitability, you're going to deconsolidate the overseas business, meaning that it will perhaps be a little more difficult to gain profitability. So how are you going to gain profit, secure profit in the domestic business? Or ultimately, will you consider the option of carving out your domestic home appliance business in the future? I just would like to ask how you're going to seek value in this business. Last question. In the examples that you have given, you talked about the recurring business model to let the consumer know the remaining amount of food in the refrigerator. So how are you going to charge? How are you going to sell the refrigerator plus the service? So that's my question. Well, thank you for your questions. First, that question was about clarification of numbers. With respect to sales or revenue, 100 billion plus, that is the size of the revenue that we're looking at in the joint venture. That's correct. Profitability for that, we are refraining from disclosing that, but on page 3, we have shown the split or the proportion. So looking at that, you may be able to conjecture or speculate perhaps. And question number 2, strong affinity with Lumada, but what to do with the scale of the business? As you rightly said, home appliance business, well, insight of the consumer can be gained digitally, and I said that in that regard, there's strong affinity with Lumada. On top of that, Lumada solutions and services can be added on top of that. With the joint venture that we are forming this time, we're going to gain cash, and that can be utilized. And dividends from the joint venture can also be enjoyed. EBIT, in terms of EBIT, and under equity law, we will receive cash from overseas business, and it can be channeled into Lumada's investment. For what's developed out of that can be made as a deliverable in the overseas market. As an option through the joint venture, we will be able to expand such services and solutions overseas. So we would like to capture cash and invest and run that cycle. For refrigerators, the refrigerator that you talked about, on top of the refrigerator, additionally, not a very large sum, but as a recurring service, automated order placement service will be added additionally on top of the refrigerator. I talked about robots. For subscription type of model, we have started several attempts, trials. For the refrigerator, you can place a food order. And are we going to have that as part of the subscription business? That needs to be considered. We are now going through various trials to consider that. Question. Additionally, I have a follow-up question. Johnson Controls a joint venture for air conditioning. Well, in order to improve profitability, you would like to increase value for digital solutions and drive profitability. Have you seen that examples? Answer. Yes, with respect to air conditioning, well, I talked about regenerative medicine in my presentation. Core technology as part of regenerative medicine, what we call Exceeda, the so-called IoT service is what we offer. So it offers remote monitoring as part of after-sales service, and it also offers preventive maintenance. Before the equipment breaks down, it can be maintained to prevent malfunction. And that is what Lumada offers. And that is a recurring type business, which is part of this business. And it is a major source of revenue for us. Thank you.
では、原田様。
Next, please. Please unmute and ask your question. Question. I hear you. Thank you. I have 3 questions. First is just clarification. You mentioned profit should be guessed from the graph, but the overseas business has relatively lower profit than domestic business. In terms of operating profit, the first half was 7.8%. In consolidated, if we deconsolidate the overseas portion, the profit will be higher. So the 8% next year may be conservative. So first, on the overseas out of consolidation, what will be the profitability? And second question is about Lumada. The word Lumada was not mentioned much in this material, but home appliance area has high affinity, I think. So Hitachi brand products, rather than expanding Hitachi products overseas, Lumada can be applied to archaic products to expand the use cases of Lumada. I think that's easier, quicker. You mentioned a complementary geographic complementation, and you will offer Lumada. So does this contract include those future initiatives? And third question, you mentioned a 30 billion yen gain on sales. So what's the usage of this proceed? You mentioned that you will invest in Lumada and the home appliance business in Japan. So what is the breakdown in the home appliance business? How much will you use and how much in Lumada? Or cash allocation in the head office? So if you have a thinking, please share them with us. Answer. First question. Fiscal year 2021 operating profit margin for the, if we deconsolidate the overseas home appliance business, with this new structure, we set 8%. You said this may be a bit conservative, that it may be valid. So that's why we mentioned over 8%. In any case, as we fix the business structure, we will set an appropriate target and move forward. And your second question about Lumada. You said you saw a few Lumada words in this material. Maybe I didn't have a good sense in preparing this material. On page 9, I mentioned open collaboration, Lumada. But after that, the food and housing and food and housing and health. We have Lumada applied in all these areas, and in overseas, adding Lumada to Archilic. You said that that is a valid strategy. I agree with you. When we first set up this joint venture, we shared this strategy with them. So sharing data is what we discussed with them to set the scheme. So we are definitely targeting that. And next, 30 billion yen gain on sales allocation. At this point, we have not decided where to allocate money to, but Lumada solutions that can be delivered overseas and partnering. Product, home appliance product that can be delivered overseas, or innovative alliance, or Lumada solutions. Those are the areas we plan to allocate cash to use it as a driver for growth. That is the basic thinking. Thank you. I understand. Thank you very much.
それでは次に
Let us move on to the English channel. We will be taking questions from those of you on the English channel. Those of you with questions, please press the button for questions, raising your hand. Any questions, please? There seems to be no question. So we would like to get back to the Japanese channel. We have many people raising their hands, so we would like to have some extension of time. We will not be able to accommodate all the questions. Our apologies for that. I see a questioner. Please unmute and start your questions. Can you hear me? Yes, I can now. Please go ahead. I'm sorry for the delay. Question. About the division of roles, I have a question. Of course, you are sharing roles in terms of products and regions, and you may apply Lumada to Archelic's products. I would like to ask more about solutions. Frailty before dementia. By collecting information on the consumer, you will be able to predict dementia. And so data is going to be crucial. With the home appliance as a touch point, you can collect information which is going to be crucial. So I think it becomes crucial to collect information from home appliances close to the consumer. So is that being understood as an important imperative in running the home appliance business? Or you're going to transfer the overseas business, but Archelic may want to increase the number of data points, and Hitachi's role is to provide solutions to those data points to improve the value. Is that the kind of role sharing? Answer. Thank you for the question. As you rightly said, in terms of frailty data, from the consumer data, we can create new value. In the air conditioning business, so we do that to a great extent. If the size of the population and the N is greater, the learning curve goes up and the quality of the service increases. So for this, together with our Archelic, the data points, the number of data points is going to be meaningful and valuable in itself. So in this particular scheme, it's not just our premium brand products, but middle market mass zone data. We would like to utilize that. On that assumption, we have put together this scheme for the joint venture. So that's the answer to that part of your question. Another question. There are characteristics in different regions. you gave Nichire example. I think you need to seek various partners in different regions. So in overseas, do you already have examples of selecting partners for certain solutions? Answer: for overseas markets, multiple partners, potential partners we are talking with already. Specifically, services for connected home appliances, who can offer such services, and the service engines as well. And rather on the B2B side, I talked about today, with respect to life sciences and health and medicine, there are powerful potential partners that we are talking to. So it's not just for the domestic market alone. We will seek a global partnering, and that is what we are proceeding with. Thank you. Thank you for the answer.
So we are going over time. So next question will be the last question.
挙手を上、ごめんなさい、音声ミュート。
Please unmute and ask your question. We do not hear you. We still don't hear you. Could you please unmute? I'm sorry, I cannot hear you, so allow me to go to the next person. Please unmute and ask your question. Question. So Archelic side counterpart corresponds to Lumada. If they have something that corresponds to Lumada on Archelic side, I would like to know, for example, how can they be applied to your products? If you have some ideas, please. Thank you. Answer. Archelic has connected air conditioning system. For example, it can be operated remotely, and before the resident comes home, the room can be comfortable. They have multiple connected appliances developed. So we are now trying to understand what is strong, how we can divide the roles, and trying to identify each other's strength. So they have aspirations and technology. So we are trying to draw the line between each other's strength right now. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you. It's now time to bring this meeting to a close. So with that, Hitachi Global Solutions business strategy presentation meeting is over for Hitachi Global Life Solutions. Thank you.